Yo, 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 yo. It's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge. Recording live from the Dogon. You know what it is. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Follow the movement on Instagram at MacTV_82. I appreciate all the love, all the comments, all the shares. This channel is growing exponentially. Appreciate all the support. Peace and love to all. Real quick, I want to talk about a story that has been always that has consistently been a reference point in my life. Something that I have always referenced. Something I've always lived by. It's been a staple. The story has always had a lot of headspace in my mind. This story is actually the inspiration behind The Matrix. The movie, the trilogy, The Matrix was actually inspired by this allegory or this story. Let's get to it. The story that I am talking about, or the allegory, rather, same thing, is the Allegory of the Cave by Plato. The Allegory of the Cave is derived from Plato's book, The Republic. It is actually book 7 within the Republic, if my memory serves me correctly. Fact check me. But yeah, those before I get to the story, I want to talk about who inspired Plato. One of Plato's biggest inspirations was his teacher. His teacher being Socrates. Socrates, the philosopher, the thinker. Those that know, who have really dug deep, they know that he got a lot of his information from the black Africans in Egypt. But that's a whole nother conversation. We're not gonna go there right now. But go pick up Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. Do the knowledge, you'll find it. But yeah, Plato is essentially Socrates' greatest student, greatest pupil, what have you, if you will. Socrates was actually he was considered, I guess, like a iconoclast. They said that he was corrupting the minds of the youth of Athens, and basically the Athenian government, they weren't feeling that. They felt like he was introducing new ways of thinking, introducing new gods, new principles, just a whole new paradigm he was introducing to the people in Athens. And the Athenian government essentially felt as though he disrupted the social order. You know, he got kids thinking things that are non-traditional, got them going up against their parents. Just everything went haywire, topsy-turvy. So he was murdered. He was sentenced to actually drink poison. I think they call it poison hemlock. I don't know, something like that. He had poison hemlock. He drank it, died. That's the cut and dry version. But, you know, this is a session of Mac Minutes, so I try to condense things as we go. But let's get to it. Allegory of the Cave by Plato. Essentially, the premise is this. There are 3 people suspended in chains, and they're in a cave. Now, the thing is this. All they know is everything that they've seen in the cave. And the setup is they're chained up, and they're looking at a wall. And behind them is the entrance to the cave. And between the entrance of the cave and where they're suspended at is like this little, kind of like a shelf-like thing, not like a bookshelf, but it's serves in the same vein as a shelf in the sense of just how it is positioned. And off this shelf, there are different things that reflect. There's like a flame on top of the shelf type deal going on, and there's people walking behind the entrance. And the reflections from the people that reflect from the flame, they all reflect on the wall. And on this wall, you see the people that are suspended on the chains. They see these different shadows that are reflecting from the entrance, and so they see things. They see different things reflecting off the wall. And when they look at these different things, they develop their own language amongst themselves, their own concept of life and what the world is. So they have their own system of thinking. They have processed reality, or they have processed reality through the lens of what they've seen and what they've experienced. And they've given things different titles, those things being the reflections off the wall. So by happenstance, one of the, prisoners one of the prisoners, one of the people that was suspended from the chains, he breaks free from his chains. So he breaks free, and then he walks outside, and he's just like, oh crap, like there's all this stimuli that I did not know existed. These images that I thought were just shadows, I touched them and realized that there was nothing there. So essentially the things that I thought were real, that were tangible, they were really they were just ideals in my mind. They didn't necessarily have a tangible reality. They were just abstract. And as he goes around looking, his eyes are still adjusting to the light. He's realizing that there's so much more to the world than what was than the reflection of the walls on the cave. The reflections on the wall was inside the cave. There was so much more to the world than that. And so he's just like, wow, like there's the trees, sons, daughters. There's like so much stimuli going on. And he realizes his whole perception has been extremely myopic and short-sighted. So what he decides to do is go. He has all this new knowledge, all this new information. Like, man, I'm gonna go back to the cave. I'm gonna tell my bros, like, man, like we were really short-sighted in our thinking. There's so much more to the world than we thought. There's so much more to learn and see and do. So he goes back into the cave, and mind you, he's used to seeing all this light. Now his eyes have to readjust to the darkness, because he's back in the element where he came from, and he's tripping over stuff. He doesn't know where he is. He's trying to find his way, and then he sees the two other guys that are still been imprisoned in the cave. And so he's with much enthusiasm, he comes back like, yo, bruh, like there's so much going on in the world. We need to leave this cave. Everything that we thought was real. I mean, that shit ain't what we thought, bro. Like there's so much more out here. And the other two guys in the cave, very much to the prisoner that escaped, the other two people in the cave weren't receptive to anything he had to say. They found him to be foolish. When he tried to show them the error in their way of thinking, they were very bellicose towards it, truculent, what have you, were just angry and combative. And he's sitting here thinking like, whoa, like I'm not on the bull. I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to share some information with y'all. These dudes were not trying to hear it. They told him he was foolish, he was stupid, and eventually, they just had to part ways. Because they weren't receptive to what he was saying. And I would say in the bigger scope of things, what this story taught me, the allegory of the cave, is that essentially it's kind of like the Nietzsche quote. People don't want truth because truth can destroy their fantasies. Truth can make you challenge your thought process. A lot of people don't like to be self-reflective. A lot of people are comfortable they're comfortable in their illusions. They're comfortable staying in a little box that they know. And some people will fight you to the death in defense of foolishness. So it's kind of like what Jesus said, quickly agree, dust your feet off and keep it moving. But I relate this story. I feel like this is a story that all black men, really everybody in general, needs to read and really process and understand. But I really think that this is something that black men, us as black men, this piece of literature is very relevant, and I think it would serve a lot of purpose and give a lot of brothers perspective if they read it, because the biggest thing that I really got from it, the overarching premise is, again, some people are just stuck in their ways of thinking. And if you don't challenge yourself or challenge the things you're stymieing your own growth. You're suspending your own growth. There's us as humans, there's always more to learn. There's more to process. Nobody has all the answers. Life itself is a perpetual learning process. Everybody is on a learning curve. Everybody. It doesn't stop. As much as you think that you don't know what you don't know. And the things that you aren't cognizant of, you need to try to take the time and figure out the scope of what you do know. And there's a saying, the diameter of your knowledge is the circumference of your activity. Meaning you're not going to go beyond what you don't know. But if you don't challenge the things you know, or challenge to find out what you don't know. I know I sound like I'm talking in circles, but you have to challenge things. You have to figure out, okay, is the world bigger than my perception? Is there more to see? Is there more to do? I think a lot of times us as brothers, we get caught up in our ecosystem, and a lot of our ecosystem isn't necessarily it's an element that is definitely tampered with. It's an element that's orchestrated our social realities, living in the hood, and a lot of us need to take the time to realize, look, there's so much more. We need to take the time to expose ourselves to different books, expose ourselves to people from different cultures. You know, there's always more to learn. And I would even say, like, on a scale beyond the context of black men growing up in the inner city, I would say society in general. I would say that those the reflection on the walls, metaphorically speaking, are the media. The things that the media shows us. You know, left-wing people are thinking like this. Right-wing people are thinking like this. Such and such got beef with such and such. There's so much going on with the media and the images that are shown. And there are a lot of people who do not question these things. They accept these things as truth, as reality. And they act as such. And a lot of times, there's a lot of sensationalism in the media. And everything in the media isn't real. And if you go even like on a lower vibration, you look at like things like World Star Hip Hop, a lot of these tabloids, kind of like the TMZs, and just kind of I don't want to call it trashy media, but trashy media. Unprincipled media that has no integrity. There are a lot of images that are put out there that really, they're anti-intellectual, and they lower our paradigms and our thought processes. So, again, Allegory the Cave, a must read. I hope you guys are able to glean something from this session of Mac Minutes. Peace and love to all. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Follow the movement on Instagram at MacTV_82. Get at me on my email, GetAtMacktVPodcast@gmail.com. The debate series is coming soon. The hip-hop debate series is coming soon. The first debate will be between myself and my homie. I'm not going to say his name yet because he's low-key, but y'all going to see him. I'll be defending the album Only Built for Cuban Links. He'll be defending Reasonable Doubt. Only Built for Cuban Links being by Raekwon the Chef, featuring Ghostface. Reasonable Doubt, of course, being none other than Jay-Z. But yeah, we got a lot of heat coming. Peace and love to all. I'm out.